and the Force is with me. I'm one with the Force is with me. So be it, Jedi.
Hello, everybody. Hey, guess what? It's Friday night, not Thursday night. I apologize for that. I had a little bit of an emergency at work. I wasn't able to get home. It's my fault.
It's all his
Sorry.
fault.
But I know we had promised to talk up Rebels tonight, so we're going to talk Rebels tonight. Well, we had going to talk Rebels last night, but we just pushed it back a day. Be flexible with us. Ebb and flow, ebb and flow. So, I'm David. I am your host. Every Thursday night, well, sometimes Friday nights, every Thursday night, we're here at the Geek News Now Cantina Happy Hour. With me, as always, is Debbie. How you doing, Debbie?
I'm good. I had Disney Plus Day for me was pretty good. I watched, if you haven't watched the behind the scenes Kenobi.
Oh, I haven't watched that. Don't say
I
anything.
cried throughout the whole thing. Just watching Hayden and Ewan together behind the scenes. I cried throughout the whole thing. It was beautiful.
I will. That's
kiss.
That's on my list of things. And what really got me was, and we're going to talk about this later. There was a thing for Andor coming up. We had a big thing, and I got so psyched watching that I had to go back and watch Rogue One again, just because, and get all the feels and when Baze and Chirrut died, and it was just like, oh no, and then Darth Vader at the end, and I'm just like, oh, Vader, it's great, amazing. But that's just me. It's one of my favorite. Dave Gramillion, if you're watching and you don't like that movie still, you have absolutely no heart and no soul, sir.
He has no taste. I'm sorry. I know he's our boss, but
Hey, it's a beautiful beautiful thing, but that's quite possibly, no, not quite possibly, that is the greatest of the Disney era movies. I will say that. So, we're going to talk some Rebels tonight. Hopefully Cam will be here. I know he had to work today, so we're not sure if he's going to show tonight. But we're going to talk some Rebels anyways. We're talking the season finale. No, I'm sorry, the series finale.
Series
finale. Season 4 finale. It was one episode. It was 47 minutes long, I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
So it was an elongated episode. It wasn't just the 30-minute runtime. I mean, I guess technically you probably could have broke it down into 2 episodes and shown it over 2 days, but
why?
But why would you do that?
He would have broke the momentum of the whole thing, so.
Yeah, exactly. So with this episode, we've got Ezra in charge of things. Kanan is gone. Here's a spoiler. In the episode prior, Kanan became one with the Force. He unalived himself.
I cried during that too.
Huh?
I said I cried during that too. That was a heartbreaking scene.
It was, especially, and again, this is one of those things where, on my initial run of Rebels, I was just like, this. I need them all to die. They all need to die, just because they're not in the further movies, so why do they need to be around? But now on a second viewing, I've gotten to where it's like, okay, I'm gonna watch the one episode that we need for tonight. But then it's like, oh, I gotta watch this one and this one and this one because those were pretty good too. And then it was like, end up watching the whole series and whatever. It's good, fine. Sue me. I made a poor call. For me, it was better on the second. It was like, you know what? It was like Zoolander. When I first saw Zoolander, I thought this is the absolute dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. And then somebody said, go back and watch it, but turn your brain off. Don't think about it. And I went back and watched it. I was like, oh my gosh, this is the funniest thing ever. So, same case in point, same kind of thing. So, Debbie, thoughts on this episode? I heard Chewie.
Yeah, Chewie is here voicing her opinion as usual.
She,
Yeah, I love this episode. The whole gang's together. Hondo's there. Everybody's there. And, they've captured the governor of Lothal Price, who's been kind of a thorn in their side for a while. And, they have this plan to take down the command center or the dome.
Okay, before you go any further, and this was one of the things that really bothered me, and this was one of the reasons why I didn't enjoy the series on my first run, and this still leaves a bad taste in my mouth. They weren't trying to take down the dome. At the end of the day, their plan was to get all of the Imperials onto the dome and then launch it away.
Right.
Basically, they're kicking them out, and I'm like, well, that's kind of dumb. They're just going to come back. What do you... Oh, we got rid of the ones that were here. Yeah, but they'll be back. They'll be back. So anyway, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
And there was a little scene that, for me, I don't know about anybody else, but it reminded me of the in New Hope, where Luke comes up with this half-brain idea to, go up to where the Princess Leia's cell is and, pretend that Chewie's a prisoner and, then he breaks free and, they do the exact same thing with Zeb. So that scene always makes me smile because it's like a, flat or not a flashback, but,
And honestly, too, I mean, just listening to the music, because I was reminded of A New Hope several times in this episode, but the music is... It's music from A New Hope.
Mm-hmm.
The Binary Suns theme was in there, and there was one or two others, but I was just like, oh my gosh, it's A New Hope rewritten. Okay. All right. I guess Luke's not A New Hope. I guess Ezra's A New Hope, and Luke's just kind of the backup plan.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Then we get I'm not sure how to say his name. They refer to him as Thrawn's pet. The Nogri. Nogri.
Again,
I think his name is Rook.
Yeah, but hello, this is stuff that is pulled from Expanded Universe Legends. Now, this was pulled directly from the Heir to the Empire, which is where Thrawn came from. So you've got the Heir to the Empire. These guys were like major players, assassins, everything else, but they're loyal to Leia because they were loyal to Vader, and Leia is
Lady Vader.
Lady Vader is what they refer to her as. So again, we're gonna pull these guys from, and I know Chris did I saw Chris's. Go to It's a Vase Productions. Watch Chris's video on the sequels. They reach over and steal something, and they use it once, and then they throw it back, throw it away.
They're pretty good. Chris comes up with some good stuff.
Yes. He's go watch Chris's stuff. And if you don't know Chris hosts MCU Mondays here on Geek News Now. There's the shirt. I've got one too, but it's not Monday, so I'm not wearing it.
Well, it was the first thing I threw on this morning, so.
So anyway, so yes, again, this was torn directly from the Expanded Universe, and I like how they made Zeb the two species were like rivals or whatever, like high school football games. Oh, you're our rivals because we're high schoolers. But I like the way. I mean, and they did this. They kind of did the same thing. And I don't know if you remember this, but Wookiees and I'm gonna try to think of their name and I can't remember it. Bosk, Trandoshians.
Ah,
Yes, they are. They are. They butt heads a lot too.
well, I mean, they hunt. The Bosk would hunt, or yeah,
Would
they would
would
hunt down the Wookiees.
Oh, looks like we got Grant on. Hey,
Grant.
Grant. Glad you could join us, even though it's Friday and not Thursday. We're glad you're watching. What you reviewing this week? Nogri, Heir to the Empire, Malarush, Lady Vader. Actually, we were talking about both of those, but because all of that appears in this, we're talking about the series finale of Rebels.
Family reunion and
farewell. Family reunion and farewell. So, being that all of these came up within this final episode of Rebels, it's like, hey, let's talk about some old EU stuff, Legend,
Yeah.
whatever.
So in this episode, well, they've captured the dome.
Mm-hmm.
The Ghost Crew has, and then Thrawn makes his little move, and he's just like, well, that's just convenient, because you've got all my people in the dome, so I'm free to fire at will on the citizens of Lothal.
And
he does.
Oh yeah, and that's a brutal scene too, because I mean, he basically says, "I need Ezra to give himself up to me, and if he doesn't, I'm gonna start shooting things." And Ezra sneaks away, and they're trying to get the shields up, the planetary shields up, so that he can't touch them. But there was, and I kind of wish they would have used this, just because it would have added something in the Heir to the Empire. I think it was the Heir to the Empire. It was in that trilogy, I believe. But one of the tactics that Thrawn used was that he would put a gunboat underneath a freighter. The freighter would fly down below the shield level. Then the Star Destroyer shows up, says, "Hey, we're here. We're going to start shooting you." And they say, "Haha, screw you. We've got a planetary shield. You can't touch us." So he would fire at a specific point, and that would be the point where the freighter or whatever was. And then that gunboat or whatever would continue the fire and shoot. And it was like, ha ha ha, I can shoot through your shields, even though he wasn't. I mean, it was the illusion of, hey, we're shooting through your shields. And people would give up, and it's like, okay. And it's like, hey, I don't even have to do anything. I'm going to take over your world. I'm going to fake it because I can shoot through your shields, and you think that. So if they would have used that, I think it would have been even better, because then, again, we're talking about diving into the EU and things like that. But missed opportunity.
Well, there was a scene where Ezra is on his ship, and he shows Ezra the artwork, which is typical Thrawn all through EU. The book I'm reading now, the third of the trilogy of the Disney era Thrawn trilogy, The Lesser Evil, I think it's called. And, he still does it in that book, But yeah, that was I thought, a great flashback to, just some of the stuff that he does in the EU era books. He studies people through their art.
Through their art and culture, yes. Mm-hmm. And I think that was brought up in one of the episodes of Rebels where he found something of Hera's. It was the family
doohickey thingy.
Yeah, the lineage. I was gonna say trinket, but sure, doohickey, why not? It was her family lineage, but he liked it because it was artful and it was beautiful, and he enjoys, even though he is evil. Just because you're evil does not mean you cannot enjoy art. Just saying.
I just never thought of Thrawn as evil.
No,
He's very strategic.
He's
And
calculating.
he's a chess player. He's like, he makes a plan and you think you've got it figured out, but he's 4 steps ahead of you, or 4 moves. He's just very intellectual, sometimes egotistical. He's arrogant, but I just never thought of him as evil. And I love the character of Thrawn.
He's a different kind of evil because he has bad intentions. I mean, obviously he's a power player. I want the power. I want to be in control of things. So he's got that, but then the fact that, yes, you're right, he's very cool and calculating and a master tactician, if you will, and that makes him frightening because, yes, he's evil, but he is a smart evil. You know, it's like Lex Luthor, and I don't mean Jesse Eisenberg Lex Luthor. I'm talking like the comic books Lex Luthor.
I love the oh God, what's his name? Rosenbaum?
Yes.
Smallville.
Yes.
My favorite Lex Luthor.
Michael Rosenbaum. Yes, absolutely.
Yes. He is my favorite Lex Luthor.
Again, same thing right there though too, where he's cool, he's calculating, and yes, he's evil, but that makes him scary because he's smart enough to get away with something, and you're going, oh, what are you gonna do now? Anyway, so they get the dome. They get everybody in the dome. They get all the they use a command code to get all the Imperials into the dome. They're gonna launch the dome. Thrawn shows up, says, "No, I don't think so, not today." Starts shooting things. Ezra goes up to the Star Destroyers. He sneaks off. Everybody's like, "No, don't do it, don't do it." It's the whole Harry Potter thing.
Harry Potter?
Don't do it, Harry. We're going to fight for you, Harry. And Harry sneaks off and goes to the bad guy anyway.
Yes, and Thrawn had a little surprise for Ezra by taking him to Palpy. It was a hologram, but it was Palpy.
It was Palpatine, and it was Ian McDermott. Hey!
Yes, it was.
We didn't have to deal with... Well, I guess we had Tim Curry in the later seasons of Clone Wars.
Mm-hmm.
But, nothing against Tim Curry. Tim, if you're watching, we love you. You're great. But...
Love Tim Curry.
But... For Palpatine, we needed Ian. We needed him back, and it was great to have him. Lovely that he provided his voice again. It was amazing. And it was... He wanted him to open the temple. And it was... I'm harking back to The Last Jedi when he's doing this, because he says, look, there's what you want. All you have to do is open the door. You know, you gotta, your mom, your dad, everybody's alive. All you gotta do is go through the door. He's like, yeah, but what about my friends here? Oh, don't worry about them. You got what you want, you know. But in The Last Jedi, there was that line where Luke and Rey were, she had her, she was sitting on the rock, and she says, you know, there was a place and it was dark and cold. And he goes, yeah, that was the dark side, and you went right to it. She said, well, it wanted to show me something. And he said, yes, it wanted to show you exactly what you need so it could pull you in. And I was like, it's the same thing. They're showing him exactly what he wants to see so that it can pull him in. Poetry. It all works together.
Yes. Oh, Palpy up to his old tricks.
But then Ezra knows better, and he becomes old Palpy again. The hologram shifts,
It goes back and forth.
It's great. It's awesome. Because you got like the soft, loving grandfather type. Oh, I'm just a harmless little old man. And then the like,
So then they go back to the ghost crew, and they're trying to get the generators up, and Zeb goes after Rook. They fall over, and I thought it was funny. Hondo thought Melch was dead, and he was like saying some of these heartfelt things, and then Melch comes back to life, or maybe he was probably just unconscious, but he wakes up, and Hondo goes back to his old ways of.
I love Hondo, and I I loved his little Ugnaught friend in this one too, because he was just all over the place. Was, there's a game that I used to play, and I still play it, called Galactic Battlegrounds, Star Wars Galactic Battlegrounds. It's a strategy-based game. Loved playing it, but there was a cheat code in there to where you could get what was it? It was something Warrior Ewok. And basically, you had this one little Ewok, and he had a slingshot, and he was invincible. And he would just run 90-0 into the other guys' camps and start blowing things up and shooting things with his. It was hilarious. It was like the greatest thing ever. I was like, look at my little Ewok gonna take down your whole army. So, yeah, the little Ugnaught, yeah, I loved him, and yes, of course.
So yeah, there's a whole skirmish there in that generator room, and Gregor dies in Rex's arms. That was sad.
Oh,
sad.
yeah. You got all the and especially because, like I said, I've been going back and watching some of the other ones, and one of the ones that I went back to go watch was I can't even remember the title. The old Lost Commanders. Lost Commanders was the first one, which was great. Rex and Gregor and Wolf were living on a ATTE in the middle of nothing and just loving life. But again, this is one of those things where it's been you knew these characters from the Clone Wars. It carries over here into Rebels, so you already have a relationship with them. You already know who they are, and when you see one of them go like that, unalive himself, it's no, he doesn't unalive himself.
He gets shot.
He got unalived.
Yeah, he was shot. But now we're going to get to see the Ghost Crew in live action in Ahsoka.
And jumping ahead just a little bit, you got the end part where Sabine's doing a voiceover saying, "Hey, here's what everybody kind of went on and did after this," and Rex. She even says Rex and I can't think of her name. Syndulla, Hera. They went and fought They fought in the Battle of
Endor.
Destroyed the second Death Star, and that's what caused a lot of the conspiracy that that guy in Return of the Jedi, that was Rex. That had to have been Rex. No, it wasn't Rex. I'm sorry.
Oh, but he looks like him. It works perfectly.
They should have just written that off as, sure, why not? That's Rex. Yeah. Because then, it would have been the same thing with, that was Peter Parker in Iron Man 2.
Yeah.
In the Iron Man mask. Yeah.
Well, in my head canon, that is Rex. It's just too perfect. Oh Lord.
so Thrawn and Ezra are up in the Star Destroyers. We're gonna bump back to them real quick, and the big monsters show up.
The Purgle whales.
Yes, they start.
Purgle.
Yes.
Purgle. I think that's how it's pronounced.
I think so. They show up and they smashed one or two of the Star Destroyers, if I recall correctly.
Mm-hmm.
And they were doing a number on the third one. And honestly, this is where I thought, we're going into this whole thing now with Ahsoka, and we know Ahsoka, what she's doing. She's looking for Thrawn. She's looking for Ezra. At the end of this episode, you see Sabine and her go off. Which, by the way, why is she dressed like a monk? She doesn't look like a Jedi. She looks like a monk with a big staff and everything. I'm like, whatever.
She is no Jedi. She isn't one. So she's a great
Jedi.
She's a great Jedi.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's some kind of disguise. Although, I mean, seeing somebody dressed like that kind of stands out. But I don't. Maybe for that era, that was a disguise. I don't know.
Anyway, but we know that all of this is going to be featured in Ahsoka, and I've always thought personally, I'm looking at it going, shouldn't Ezra and Thrawn be dead? Just because, okay, those things smashed through the viewers of the Star Destroyers. There was openings there. They could be out in the air, and then those things jump into hyperspace with no protection on either Ezra or Thrawn. Basically, you've got a breach in the hull, and you're going into hyperspace.
Unless
why would that not have killed them?
Unless Ezra created some kind of force bubble.
Oh, there's her answer for everything. The Force. Oh, the Force.
The Force.
Oh, Maxie Big, the Force.
Or maybe the space whales, that's what I call them. The space whales have some kind of their own shielding of some sort. Who knows? It might be explained.
Who knows? So that actually leads us. I was actually gonna hang on. I've got this up. So we did have some Star Wars news. Speaking of things coming up and Ahsoka and Ezra and everything else, we did have some news today. Disney Expo is going on right now, and they announced that this gentleman, Iman Esfandi, I hope I'm pronouncing that. Iman, if you're watching and I'm pronouncing it wrong, let me know. But he is going to be. This is now confirmed. This is all over the place. Every reliable source we can come up with. So this is not just what we think. This is a for sure thing. He will be Ezra Bridger. He will be the live action Ezra Bridger.
Yeah, there's been several TikToks on there that announced it, but there was one person who did a split screen with this gentleman and the animated Ezra, and wow, talk about twins.
Yeah.
I mean, if you take Ezra as, I don't know how old he is in.
He was, let's see,
teens. In his teens, maybe?
In his teens during the final seasons of Rebels.
And so you age him 15, 20 years or whatever. I don't know how much time. But yeah, this guy's a ringer. Pretty on point.
If he's, let's say 15. He's 15 at the end of Rebels. And then that would mean A New Hope takes place 4 years past that. He'd be as old as Luke. I mean, he is as old as Luke. He was born on Empire Day. That is mentioned many times in Rebels.
Mm-hmm.
As was Luke and Leia. Were born on the same day that the Empire came to fruition. So he's going to be as old as Luke would be at this point too.
Yeah, probably early 20s, I would say. Early to mid 20s.
So it's going to be it's Star Wars. Of course I'm interested. I'm going to be interested.
I'm excited. Cuz I think it was confirmed, but I've been thinking this anyways, that Mando will also be on Ahsoka. And it's quite possible
I don't know why
Boba.
it wouldn't.
Well, because...
Well, I mean, okay, so Mando made an appearance in Boba Fett. Ahsoka made an appearance in Mando. All of this is tied together. And
they're all within the same time frame.
Yeah, it all happens at the same time. It would not surprise me at all. What would surprise me is if they come out and they say, okay, here's Ahsoka, and it's 6 episodes long, and one of those episodes is all Mando. No Ahsoka, no Boba, nothing else. Just Din Djarin. Like they did with Boba Fett.
Well, I'm pretty confident, and this is just my theory alone, that quite possible. Well, and I said this at the end of Boba Fett, that Boba, Mando, he's going to be on Mando. He's going to help Mando.
It's some kind of cave. He's got to bathe in a lake in a cave or something like that.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure
he's got to go through a baptism.
I think there's going to be like, you're going to have your good Mandos, you're going to have your bad Mandos, Death Watch, who knows? Yeah, I think they'll, Sabine could show up. Who knows? She's a Mando.
That wouldn't be, and she's not only a Mando, but also because of Rebels, she is. Sabine. She's related to what's her name?
Bo.
Yes, Bo-Katan.
And Bo-Katan could probably be in it too. So it's going to be
I'm willing to bet Bo-Katan is. I'd put money on the fact that Bo-Katan will. Oh no, not for Ahsoka.
For Mando.
Mando 3. Mando season 3.
Yep.
So
I called it at the end of Boba Fett, so we'll see if I'm right.
We shall see. Anything else? We got anything cool?
Well, yeah. The little surprise at the end of the series where, the part where you talked about where they're talking about Hera and Rex had fought on Endor, and then their newest crew member, Jason. I was like, when the hell did that happen? I mean, are we assuming it's Kanan's because, or is it somebody else's?
I'm gonna call it as Kanan's because she makes mention of the fact of, and who his father was, and he was a great.
I know they said that, but it was like, I mean, right before he died.
Maybe
she said, "I love you," and he goes, "Well, that's just the truth serum." She goes, "No, it's all me." And I'm like, okay, they just professed their love for each other.
When did they have time to procreate?
Yeah, so it's like, did they vodio do earlier? Just for shits and grin. Yeah.
They're on a ship. They're on a ship with each other.
Hey, Canon,
we're in the middle of nowhere. We're on a hyperspace route. We're gonna be here for like 4 hours.
We'll get it on.
You want to kill about 3.5 minutes? Let's go.
Yeah, so that.
I'm not a Jedi anymore. They don't exist. I can do this now.
I guess it just never made sense to me because I was just like, I mean, throughout the whole series, it was just, they kind of hinted at the idea that, they were into each other and, but that nothing ever happened. And, so right before he died and she tells him, I love you. And I'm just like, so how did this kid come about? I mean, unless he's a Anakin.
And she's just passing Kanan off as the father.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe it'll be explained. Maybe it won't. Maybe it's just whatever your headcanon likes it to be.
Maybe
I have no
we'll...
problem with it being Kanan, but it just, the timing.
It doesn't work, does it? Plus, let's look at it this way too. I don't know what the gestation period for a Twi'lek is, but I'm gonna say she's humanoid. Let's say 9 months. So she took advantage of a blind man. Can you believe that? He was blind. Oh, that's not... Sure, Kanan. We'll go with Kanan. I like Kanan.
I just thought it was weird.
It's Freddie Prinze.
I like the idea. I just thought it, when the hell did they have time to do this? Oh, Lordy.
Well, we're going to go on now. Do we have anything else on this part? We can move to Andor, or we
can move to Andor.
We can move to Andor. Before we go to Andor, I want to show everybody this. Cam posted this on his timeline. I kind of wish he was here because this helps him. This is the meme of the week for me. The meme of the week. We may start a whole new segment on the Star Wars meme of the week. Oh, might explain the little guy in The Last Jedi. So, meme of the week. Look at this. Here we go. Uh-oh. Yeah, that's fine. Luke, I don't believe it. Yoda says, that is why you fail. Perfect character. The Force is more than strength. Rey believes it, doesn't fail. You Mary Sue.
Yeah, I never got the whole Mary Sue thing. But...
I never did either. And you know what? Here's the difference. Here's the way I see this. Is you've got Rey and everybody says, oh, she's just a Mary Sue. All of a sudden she just knows how to use the Force and everything else. And Luke had to go train and blah, 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 do all this other stuff. But Luke also said when A New Hope rolls around, he says, he's in the scene with Ben Kenobi, and he's like, hey, the Force? Oh, the Force is what gives it to... It's the first time he's heard of it. He has no clue. He's just there. Whereas Rey has grown up, Luke Skywalker's real. I thought it was just a myth. At least she's heard these stories. She knows what's possible. She knows what Jedi can do. She knows, she's heard the stories and she understands them. And it's like she has the knowledge already.
And really, Luke didn't have that much training. I mean, he had the little training there on the Falcon with Ben, and then maybe a few months at the most on Dagobah, with Yoda. He didn't finish his training because he could feel that Han and Leia were in trouble, so he left, and he wasn't doing very well with the training.
I don't believe it. That is why you fail. Now I'll give Luke this. So there was 3 years that spanned between A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back. We also know that Ben was able to communicate with him, maybe not so much as a Force ghost, but telepathically at least, because he's run, Luke, run, use the Force, Luke, let go, Luke, So we knew he was able to commune with Luke on a certain level. So that being said, you've got 3 years to where he can be sitting here talking to Luke saying, okay, here's what you need to do. Here's how the Force works. This is
But he still sucked when he was with Yoda.
okay.
I mean,
Come on, I'm trying to fill in the gap here.
The only thing he was truly good at in that time period was the flying. That just came naturally to him, like his father before him. That he had no problem with. It was all the other stuff. And he was just so impatient because he didn't want to do all this training with Yoda. He wanted to get down to the nitty gritty. He wanted to learn the important things. And Yoda wanted him to, go through, the running through the forest and stack rocks and do this and do that. And Luke was very impatient, and which is, why he left.
Yoda wanted him to start small and build his way up.
But he was impatient, once again, like his father before him.
Well, and I think his impatience, and okay, so let's say this, and his impatience probably stemmed from the fact that he had been taught some stuff by Ben. He was like, all right, I've already passed, I already know my ABCs. Let's jump right into reading Ben-Hur. It's like, no, you gotta, it's a little more to it than that. But he thought he was ready. And especially, I mean, you saw it too in Empire Strikes Back when he was hanging by his feet and he reaches out with the Force to grab his lightsaber and knock himself down. So.
And he struggled with that.
And he struggled with that, but that shows that he knew something. He had been taught some things. And being that when he gets to Yoda, he's like, okay, I've been taught some things. I don't need to start in kindergarten. I can start in 2nd or 3rd grade already. I can move up. I can do some of the more advanced stuff that I haven't learned yet. So, but he was impatient. Yoda said you need to start small. So, anyway, meme of the week. Mary Sue. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll find another one for next week. We'll call it good. So that leads us into, when was it? September the 8th. We had
Disney Plus Day.
Okay, well, hang on. We got Grant here. Finished his training when he relinquished his saber in Return of the Jedi and faced all of his fears. I completely agree. So, Disney Plus Day. A lot of good stuff came out on Disney Plus. You had the what is it called? It's Obi-Wan Kenobi.
The Jedi Returns.
The Jedi Returns. Okay. I was thinking Revisited, but okay, sure. So Obi-Wan Kenobi, The Jedi Returns. You had Thor: Love and Thunder popped. You had we got a Pinocchio, live action Pinocchio with Tom Hanks. And we got this thing for Andor. Now Andor
10 minutes.
10 minutes. Andor
and it
starts,
was great.
Let's see. They start in 10, 11, 12 days. September the 21st. So, yeah, 12 days.
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
More or less.
We'll get 3 episodes. It's going to be great. But the 10 minutes that we saw, I mean, and some of it was Diego Luna and I don't think he was the director. I think he was the writer. He was one of the writers. We're sitting talking about, this is how we're going to do this. This is what we've been planning on doing. We got the we want to tell this type of story, and here's how it goes. And they pretty much said, yes, we're going to show some flashbacks because we're going to start with Andor as a small child and build up to him in the thing. This takes place, the majority of it takes place 5 years prior to Rogue One. So actually, this will take place probably right around the time that Rebels was finishing. I wonder if we get some kind of based on Ezra's age, we can assume maybe right around the time Rebels may still be going on, but I'm wondering if we get some kind of throwback to Rebels within Andor. Now that I'm sitting thinking about it in the timeline,
I'm going to say no, because I think this is.
why not? They mentioned General Syndulla in Rogue One.
They do. I mean,
and Chopper was there.
Chopper was there. I don't know. I just think this is just going to center on Cassian and all the spy stuff, the dirty, gritty side of the first Rebel Alliance.
This is the Rebels. This is gearing up to be. I don't know for sure yet, and I'll let you know as it goes on. This is the Rebels that I wanted to see. I wanted to see the beginning of the rebellion, how it was all built, you know, the different cells and factions and everything, and how everything works together. I didn't want to see a group that was working on one planet. It was trying to free Lothal. And we're not even going to free Lothal. We're just going to kick all the Imperials off. So this is shaping up to be what I wanted. Plus, it's Cassian. I love Cassian Andor. He's one of my favorite characters. So I have a special thing for him. Don't ask me why. It's just there.
I didn't like him when he was first introduced in the movie. He was just nasty.
He was evil.
Yes, he was.
But you know what though? Han shot first too. Yeah. Now what do you think?
But he never came off that way.
You like Harrison Ford, yeah.
No, I love Harrison Ford. He's my secret boyfriend.
Okay.
Has been since 1975. So there you go. I know he just comes off very jaded, full of himself, very egotistical. I mean, of course, you know, by the time Rogue One comes around, he's probably done a lot of shit. You know, stuff that I'm sure we'll see. Like I said, the grittier side and probably the nastier side of the Rebel Alliance.
And we'll be getting a lot of it too, because if I'm thinking right, this is 12 episodes. Well, now granted, we get the first quarter of it on the 21st, but regardless, this is 12 episodes long. Plus, I think they've already said they're doing a second season.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's been confirmed that there's going to be another season of this. So there will be another 12 episodes, which is
They've got 5. They got 5
it.
years. They could do 5 seasons.
They could do
to
5
lead up
seasons very easily,
right up to Rogue One. So,
but we are going to have some amazing cameos in this. Saw Gerrera's back. We've got Forrest Whitaker. We've got Mon Mothma making an appearance. It would not surprise me at all if Bail Organa is here. We get Jimmy Smits. Maybe a teenage Leia even. It's possible.
quite possibly.
It's possible.
Millie Brown, maybe? Millie Brown?
Maybe. It's because Leia was very active in politics even at a very young age, based on canon and backstory that we have. So Leia was like Padme, to where she was involved in politics at a very young age. And if this has to do with the politics too of the rebellion, the Empire, everything else.
Well, I mean, you got Mon Mothma, and she was very involved at first with the Senate and all that. So yeah, I'm sure there'll be political crap, which sometimes bores me. Depends on how in depth they go with it. But yeah, politics, crap happening under the table. You're going to get spy stuff. I think there's going to be a lot of action in this.
Well, the director is the guy that did the Bourne Supremacy.
Mm.
So anybody that's seen any of the Bourne movies know that's a lot of it's like James
Good
Bond on
stuff.
steroids. So I'm kind of hoping I don't want James Bond on steroids necessarily, but the mystery and intrigue and everything else.
Plot twists and, stuff that happens that you weren't expecting.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to all of it.
And also in the 10 minutes, we got a really long clip in this. If you don't have Disney Plus, what's wrong with you? No, if you don't
Go
have
watch
Disney,
it now.
yeah, go get it now because you're missing Mandalorian, you're missing Book of Boba Fett, you'll be missing Ahsoka, Andor's coming up. There's a lot of stuff on Disney Plus makes it well worth it. Plug for Disney Plus. If you want to send me a check, my address. Oh, never mind. Catch me later. Anyway.
And definitely watch the Kenobi behind the scenes. It is so good, and just to see Hayden and Ewan together, and it shows some of the behind the scenes of their scenes on the show. It's great. I cried.
Andor
I cried and smiled throughout the whole damn thing. It was good.
Andor got to explain the foundations of the scoundrels and nerf herders. Sure, why not? So but anyway, the 10 minutes we get, obviously in this 10 minutes, he's not, well, I say 10 minutes, the scene that we get, he's not necessarily part of the rebellion just yet. This is what it looks like is like he steals stuff and sells it to whoever wants to pay for it, kind of thing.
Yeah, I think he infiltrates the Empire several times because evidently in his childhood, either the Empire has killed his family or did something horrible to the planet or whatever. And this is his form of revenge, where he infiltrates the Empire anywhere he can and maybe sabotages them or steals things, like you said, steals things and sells them off just so he can survive.
And he's got a really interesting way of doing it too, as mentioned in this thing where he says, "How did you steal it? How did you get it? I'll give you 1,000 credits if you told me how you get it." He goes, "It's easy. All you got to do is walk in there like you belong there.
Mm-hmm.
You walk in there, and they don't even pay attention. They're so big and they're so full of themselves that they just don't even care."
And he's probably, since he was 6 years old, that's what he says in Rogue One.
Yeah.
He's had plenty of practice. So, yeah, I think it's going to be a good show. I'm excited for it.
I'm beyond excited, but I wish they would have released it at the end of August like they were supposed to.
Yeah, because now it's going to run in with
Bad Batch.
Yeah, Bad Batch.
So the 21st is when Andor drops. 3 episodes. And then on the 28th, we've got the 4th episode of Andor, but the first episode of season 2 of the Bad Batch. So when we come on that show after the 28th, we're going to be doing Andor and the Bad Batch, just so we can stay up.
I'm pissed at Disney for doing that.
It's telling you, dude.
It makes no sense.
Just start one when the other one ends, and then that way, people that do shows like this, us people, don't have to talk about like 3 or 4 different things all at once. We can just talk. It's the one show.
It's hard to keep track of shit the way it is. Come on.
Anyway, so yes, get Disney Plus. Go watch the Andor thing. It's great. It's amazing. I've watched it twice. I watched it twice, and like I said, I watched it this morning, and I was like, I gotta watch Rogue One again just because. And sure enough, I did. So
I've watched it once, and I watched the Kenobi behind the scenes, but I really plan on rewatching the Kenobi behind the scenes because it's a beautiful thing.
I've got a Lego set that I'm working on right now.
Hey,
And-
William!
Hey! What's up, William? William
William
Morgan
in
is-
the house!
He is, of course, the host of the Geek Gauntlet podcast. They're on Saturday nights. They will be on tomorrow night.
At
Right here on Geek News Now.
10.
At 10. Is at 10 Eastern time. 10 o'clock Eastern time.
10 my time, yes.
Yeah. So I think it's 9 o'clock my time. Anyway, 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. Come to the YouTube channel. You can come to the Facebook channel. Yep, there he is. 10 Eastern. They talk about everything. DC, anime, Star Wars, whatever the hot topic of the day is, they talk about it there on the Geek Gauntlet. Go check them out. They're great. Again, right here on the Facebook page or YouTube or...
I think they're on Twitch, too. They do Twitch TV, I believe.
I believe so. But all that being said, if you really want to stay up to date and keep up with all of this stuff, all the shows that we have coming out on Geek News, like us and subscribe. Subscribe on YouTube, set notifications. Check us out on Facebook. Go to the Facebook page and like the Facebook page. We got a GNN The Greats page, and that's like the super geeks. Go join them. A lot of fun. Geek Gauntlet says Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. So yeah, there you go. So Grant says, "Hey there, William. Gonna watch when we finish here. I'm gonna. You're gonna watch the Obi-Wan Kenobi. Yes, like I said, I got a Lego set that I'm working on right now, and as soon as I get done here, I'm gonna go watch Kenobi. It's Friday night. I got nothing better to do. I'm old. I don't go out.
I'm gonna finish
party.
my binging of Cobra Kai.
So, anyway, anything else, Debbie? We missed Cam. We missed you. I'm sorry. I apologize.
Yeah, he was working tonight.
Yeah.
MCU Mondays. We were not on Monday because of Labor Day, so we will be covering episode 3 and 4.
3 and 4 for
She-Hulk.
She-Hulk, yes.
And hopefully there'll be some awesome crap that comes out of the Star Wars Marvel panel this weekend.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, okay. So hang on a minute. I got to see if he texted me. No, he didn't. Luke, if you're watching, text me those times. So anyway, I know you're watching. Text me the times. You better be watching. So tomorrow, Disney Expo is going on this weekend. All this weekend. Today they had a whole bunch of Disney stuff. They announced a whole bunch of new movies. Little Mermaid live action. They're doing a movie called Mufasa. They're doing a prequel to The Lion King, basically. A whole slew of stuff. But tomorrow, and I don't know the times, that's why I need Luke to text me the times. Tomorrow, they are one panel will be talking strictly Marvel stuff, and hopefully they're going to talk about Phase 6. Okay, hang on. Oh, he said he texted me like an hour ago.
Wake up, Dad!
I got my phone turned off.
Oh, Lordy
10 a.m. Pacific time, so 10 a.m. California time.
And 1 p.m. Eastern time, I would assume.
1 p.m. Eastern time. But that's Marvel. They'll be doing Marvel and Star Wars. Hopefully, we're going to get some cool stuff for both of them. We'll have some stuff to talk about on MCU Mondays. We didn't do MCU Mondays this week because of Labor Day, which... Okay. But I was so ready for it, too. But that's okay. I can vent on Monday, so we'll be there. MCU Mondays. Check us out next Thursday. I don't know what we're talking about yet next Thursday. Maybe we're going to talk some more Andor. Because that next Thursday is the last show before Andor starts. So we got the next show, and then the show after that, we'll be talking about 3 whole episodes of Andor. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. Also, don't forget to check out, since he's here, William, we'll do a shout-out. Geek Gauntlet Podcast. I don't know. It's not a podcast. The Geek Gauntlet. Go watch the Geek Gauntlet. It's a show, YouTube show. William Morgan is great. Also, check out the Geek and I podcast. That's John Biscardi. It's also part of GNN. I actually did a show with John last night where we talked about Jaws and Star Trek 2, Wrath of Khan.
My favorite Star Trek.
Yes. So go check that out. All of that stuff is on the YouTube. It's YouTube and Twitch and Facebook. Also, check us out on Instagram, Facebook. It says, I got to get John on the gauntlet. Yeah? We got to get you on here.
I think he usually has a show on Thursday nights.
Oh, he does? Okay, yeah. So
I think it's a sports thing.
Oh, yeah, I think you're right.
I think.
So anyway, check out GNN, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram,
TikTok.
We're doing TikTok now. Look at us. We're hip. We're cool.
Woo.
Whatever. We're up to snuff. So check us all out. Don't forget to like us and subscribe us. We will see all of you next Thursday night. But until then, may the Force be with you all.